Isang mapagpalang oras po sa ating lahat, mga ginigiliw na mga kaibigan at mga kapatid. Purihin ang Panginoon muli na tayo po ay magkakasama sa oras pong ito upang po patuloy po nating pakinggan ang mensahe ng ating Panginoon buhat sa ating tagapagsalita, Brother Derek Inapan. Ayan. So purihin ang Panginoon sapagkat sa buong sanlinggo ay ating napakinggan si Brother DJ sa kanyang mga mensahe in line with the theme 8 Secrets to Christian Perfection. Tunay nga mga minamahal na mga kapatid that the Lord wants and desires us to be perfect in character, to be in line with His will, mga kapatid. Ano po? And so that sa kanyang pagbabalik ay makita niya tayong nagtatapa at nananampalataya at maging karapat dapat natatanggap ng buhay na walang hanggan. Sapagkat ang sabi nga ni Mrs. White, mga kapatid, ano po, when the character of Christ shall be perfectly reproduced in His people, then He will come to claim them as His own. So sa gabing ito ay welcome po muli sa atin pong programang Time Alone with God and 777 Prayer. Dito lamang po sa ating Link of Hope, NELA College Studio, the studio that brings hope to every home. Saan man po kayo naroon, mga minamahal na mga kapatid, kayo man po ay nanonood ngayon dito sa Isabela, Cagayan, parte ng Pangasinan, o saan man sulok dito sa Pilipinas o sa buong mundo man, mga kapatid, mga nanonood, mga kaibigan natin dyan sa Canada, sa Amerika, and other parts of the globe, even sa Hong Kong and saan pa yun? Hindi ko na maalala, mga kapatid. Pero saan man kayo naroon ngayon, ay naway pagpapala ng ating pong may kapalang siyang ating maranasan sa oras pong ito. And now, brothers and sisters, to prepare our hearts and minds to the message of the Lord tonight through through Brother Derek Inapan, tayo makakapakinig ng isang natatanging mensahe ng awit na ipagkakalob po ni Sister Lovelyn Kalaksan sa kanyang awitin, Before the Throne of God.
Righteousness, the great unchangeable I am, the King of glory and of grace. One with Himself I cannot die, my soul is purchased by His blood, my life is hid with
Hello friends, greetings again from Negros Occidental, and it has been a wonderful privilege to be with you this past week. And we've come to the last night of our series. I have been so privileged to share these ideas and these insights with you, which I hope would really help you in your Christian journey. And so let's again get ourselves down to the verse. The verses are key text for our study, the study that we have been in this week. Let's go to 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 5 through 7. I'm reading from the New King James Version. It says, "But also for this very reason, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue." Faith is the first step. And then add to faith virtue. That's the second step. And to virtue we add what? We add knowledge. And to knowledge we add self-control. And to self-control we add perseverance. And to perseverance we add godliness. And to godliness we add brotherly kindness. And to brotherly kindness we add love. Now, you are in region 2, right? You are in region 2, in the province of Isabela. And I'm not sure which part of the province you are situated in, but we have the Sierra Madre over there, right? The Sierra Madre range. And I don't know if you're aware of it, but the Sierra Madre range is the longest mountain range in the Philippines, right? It stretches from the northern part of Cagayan, and it goes far down to the eastern side of Manila. That's very long. That's a very long mountain range. And this is among the very few mountain ranges in the Philippines left with forests covered with old growth forests. When you say old growth forests, it means this is a forest that, the trees in this forest have been existing for so long. And some of them may have existed for hundreds of years, right? Yeah, and so this mountain range is very interesting because right after it, like to the eastern side of it, is already the Pacific Ocean. And it's what shields the Philippines, or at least Luzon, right? It's what shields Luzon from storms that comes from the Pacific Ocean. You know, the only reason why our country experiences excessive flooding, that's because we destroyed our forests, right? And that's already an obvious reason. But let's say the Philippines retain its original condition. There would never be floods, and the storms that would come to our places will not be as violent as they are now because there are mountain ranges like the Sierra Madre which protects the rest of the country from the storms. And I don't know if you're also aware of this. When a storm hits a mountain range or a mass of land, it loses strength. It loses strength so that as it proceeds, it's no longer as strong as when it was in the ocean. And so, it is amazing that thinking of these mountain ranges, thinking of the forests that cover these mountain ranges, we can say, how difficult would it be to be climbing a mountain? How difficult would it be to be reaching the summit, right? There are obstacles to face, there are obstacles to go through, especially when the mountains is yet filled with forests and rocks. It takes so much challenge to get to the top, but the thing is, you will never get to the top unless you do the climb, right? You may say, I will go to the top via a helicopter. But even if you ride a helicopter or an airplane, you would still be experiencing the process of going up, right? There will still be going up, a process of going up. It's the same thing with our Christian progress. It's impossible to reach the top without going up. We have to keep going up until we reach that summit which we are aiming for. And amazingly, Christ, when he has shown us the path which we must take, there is no other way to be going to the top of Christian perfection but that path which Christ has marked for us. And so we have come to the last two steps of this climb, and the last two steps are brotherly kindness and love. They are so much related, but these are the steps which are very hard to attain, right? It may seem hard to attain, but it's hard to attain because it would only be hard to attain these steps if you don't have the first 6 steps, right? It's very hard, it's impossible. Let me just use that word. It's impossible to attain the steps if you have not gone through the first 6 steps. Brotherly kindness and love. How are they related? Of course, very much related, right? Brotherly kindness is the aspect of our lives when we are willing to share to someone else, no matter who they are, no matter what they are. You know, we as people, we have the tendency to choose whom we would benefit, to choose whom we would love, or to whom we would show favors. And usually when somebody does not have the capability of returning to us the favors that we return from them, or in other words, if we could not gain anything from somebody, we are reluctant to share, right? If somebody is not able to return to us what we expect, we become reluctant to be kind to them, to show favors to them. That is how unfair we are. That is how unfair we can be, even if we say we are Christians. Now, are you really a Christian when you're not willing to share with your brother? Are you really a Christian when you show partiality? When you choose those whom you favor? Of course not. Christ was good to everyone. He was good to the bad and the good. He sends rain, that's according to another verse in Matthew chapter 5. God sends rain to the just and to the unjust. And this is what we need. This is what we need to have. Brotherly kindness. This is what will bind us together as a church. And this is what will make our efforts effective in reaching others. And the final step in this Christian perfection cycle is, of course, love. Nothing is more, or nothing is higher than love. And nothing is more difficult to gain than love. Is that right? Nothing is more difficult to gain than love. Well, we may say, it's easy to love. I love my girlfriend, I love my boyfriend. Yes, if we take love in that aspect, we may say it's easy to love. But what is real love? How is true love defined? And it's interesting, like we were talking about in the first session of this series. The Bible has definitions for the terms it uses. And it defines faith in one single verse. That's in Hebrews 11 verse 1. But it defines love in one whole chapter. And what chapter is that? Do you know the love? The love chapter, we almost know this as Adventists. It's 1 Corinthians 13. And you may read this chapter for yourselves. 1 Corinthians 13. In this chapter, we get to realize what true love really means. The kind of love that doesn't show partiality. The kind of love that doesn't choose who to love, but that gives that shares, that gives to every child of God, no matter who he is and what he is. This is the kind of love that we must have, my friends. And it is impossible to attain, to achieve this love without the rest of the 7 steps in the cycle. And remember, even if we have faith, even if we have virtue, even if we have knowledge, even if we have self-control, even if we have perseverance, even if we have godliness, even if we have brotherly kindness, if there is no love, all of these things will be nothing. Read 1 Corinthians 13 and meditate upon all of the texts in this verse, in this chapter. Meditate upon every line and ask yourself, how can I achieve this true love? Return to the cycle that we have studied this week. Return to the steps which God has so clearly pointed out to us. Return to the goal of being perfect as a Christian. Let us make it our ultimate goal to be perfect Christians, and our everyday, specific, and realistic goal to be moving one step at a time up this ladder of progress. And let us ask God to always strengthen us in every step of the way, that we may be consistently pressing forward and pressing upward. And tonight, remember the text, the last verse of 1 Corinthians 13. It says, and now abides faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of them is love. We have to reach that summit. If we don't reach love, we have not reached Christian perfection. And if we have not reached Christian perfection, we are not ready for heaven. Let us make it our everyday goal to make one step closer to heaven. And let us always be reminded that if we are not connected with God, the impossible would never be impossible, would never be possible. Connect with God. Connect with God. For with God, nothing is impossible. Have a great evening.
Amen. And thank you so much, Brother DJ, for that wonderful message. So, in behalf of Northeast Luzon Adventist College Church, nitong ating Link of Hope NELA College Studio, we would like to say thank you for your ministry sa buong Sanlinggo. At naway pagpalain ka sa iyong ministry, Brother DJ. And this very moment, brothers and sisters, tayo po lahat ay manalangin. Mapagpalat, maibigin naming Diyos ang tahanan ay nasa mga langit. Sa oras pong ito, Panginoon, kami lumalapit at nagpupuri sa inyo pong kadakilaan. Pinupuri ka namin sapagkat napakadakila ka, napaka-maawain ka sa bawat isa sa amin. Ikaw ang Diyos na patuloy na nagpapatawad sa amin pong mga kasalanan at mga kalikuan. Bagamat kami po ay may mga kahinaan, maraming salamat, Panginoon, sapagkat ikaw ang Diyos na nagbibigay ng kalakasan, ng pagtatagumpay sa bawat isa sa amin. Marami po kaming mga pagkukulang sa iyo, Panginoon. Mga bagay na amin pong naisipan na hindi kaaya-aya sa inyo pong harapan. Mga bagay na amin pong nasambit na hindi kalugod-lugod sa inyo pong banal na harapan. Mga bagay na amin pong nagawa na hindi sang-ayon sa inyo pong kalooban. Kami patawarin at pakalinisin. Tulungan kaming patuloy na lumago sa amin pong pananampalataya sa inyo. Nagaya po ng mensahe sa gabing ito, tulungan po kami reach yung inyo pong kagustuhan sa bawat isa amin to be perfect in your sight. Dalangin po namin na ang pag-ibig ng aming Panginoong Hesus ang siyang maghari sa aming pong puso, sa aming pong buhay. Tulungan kaming isakabuhayan ang pag-ibig ng aming Panginoong Hesus. At makita ito, Panginoon, mag-reflect ito sa amin pong buhay. Na ang amin pong buhay ay makita ang karakter ng aming Panginoong Hesus. Panginoon, sa mga oras pong ito, amin pong inilalapit sa inyo ang inyo pong mga anak na mayroon pong mga panalangin hiling. Ang ilan po sa kanila ay may mga pinagdadaanan sa buhay, mga mabibigat na mga pasanin, mga problema. Ngunit ikaw ang Diyos na nagbibigay ng katugunan, nagbibigay ng solusyon sa mga problema. Ikaw ang siyang aming malapitan sa mga oras pong ito. Ang ilan po sa kanila may mga sakit physically, Panginoon, na kung paano po ninyo pinagaling ang mga may sakit noon. Please, Lord, nagmamakawa po kami sa inyo, na inyo pong muling iunat ang inyo pong mga kamay at inyo pong ihipo ito sa inyo pong mga anak upang maranasan nila ang kagalingan pisikal. Kung sila man po ay nagkakaroon ng kahinaan sa pananampalataya, inyo po silang palalahanan sa pamagitan po ng inyo pong banal na Espiritu. Maalala po nila kung paano ang inyo pong kabutihan sa kanila sa mga nakaraang mga araw o panahon ng kanila pong buhay. Bawat isa po sa amin sa mga oras pong ito, may kanya-kanya po kaming mga pinagdadaanan sa buhay. Ngunit nababatid po namin, Panginoon, na ikaw ang Diyos na maawain at maibigin, mairugin sa bawat isa. Ikaw ang siyang aming sandigan sa mga oras pong ito. Amin pong inilalapit sa inyo ang kalagayan po ni Brother Emmanuel Borromeo. Patuloy po nawa, Panginoon, na inyo po siyang pagalingin ng inyo pong mapagpalang kamay. Ganon din kay Sister Rosie Briones na kasalukuyan po yung nagki-chemotherapy. We pray na tulungan po siya at bigyan ng kalakasan sa bawat araw. At ganon din si Brother Marlon Acob sa kanyang recovery, sa kaniyang operasyon. Dalangin po namin na inyo po siyang pagalingin at hilumin, Panginoon. Ganon din si Brother Simeon Nagtalon, Nori Joy Tadyo, Nancy Garcia, Magno Abad, Josie Buted, Benilda Fredeluces, Ruel Kaging, Clarita Pascua Tomas. Ang mga anak po ninyong ito, Panginoon, they need your presence, Father. So we plead in behalf of them. Naway inyo po silang patuloy na yakapin ng inyo pong mapagpalang mga bisig. Ganon din, Panginoon, amin pong inilalapit sa inyo ang family ni Brother Mar Villamil, na sila po ngayon ay mayroon pong mga karamdaman, mga ubo, may lagnat. But we pray na kayo ang siyang magbigay ng kalakasan sa kanilang buong pamilya. Ang sila Susan Villamil, Efren Villamil and family, Noel Ortiz and family, ang kanila pong mga anak. Dalangin po namin, Panginoon, that you will be with them and bring healing to their family. Ganon din kay Sister Irene Villamil, ang kanila pong mga anak, si Ira at LJ. Ganon din si Sister Charo at ang kanyang asawa na nagbibiyahe po ngayon. Patuloy nawa, Panginoon, na sila po'y pagpalain at bigkisin ng inyo pong mapagpalang kamay. Ganon din, Panginoon, we pray for healing kay Brother James Aguedan. At sana po patuloy po ninyo silang gabayan sa bawat araw. Sana po'y maging negative ang swab test ni Brother James. At ganon din, Panginoon, we continue to pray for the newly baptized members ng inyong pong iglesia sa Minanga, Angadanan. Panginoon, maraming salamat for a fruitful labor. Sana po ang mga nagsitanggap sa inyo sa pamagitan po ng bautismo, tulungan silang lumago sa kanilang pananampalataya at patuloy na magtapat hanggang sa inyo pong pagbabalik. And tonight, dear Father, inyo rin pong pagpalain ang ministry ni Brother Rene, Derek, Joseph, Inapan, na inyo po siyang kinasangkapan, ginamit sa buong sanlinggong ito na maibahagi ang inyo pong mensahe. Patuloy po ninyo siyang pagpalain at ng kanyang pamilya. at sa lahat po ng amin pong mga kapatid, mga kaibigan na nanonood at patuloy na nakakapakinig ng inyong pong mensahe through this program. Ito pong Time Alone with God and 777 Prayer. Inyo po silang pagpalain at tulungan sa kanila pong paglago sa amin pong pananampalataya sa inyo. Maraming salamat, Panginoon, sa pagtugon at pagdinig sa aming dalangin sa pagkatutiling namin sa pangalan ni Jesus. Amen. Muli, mga minamahal na mga kaibigan at mga kapatid, maraming salamat po sa pagsama sa atin sa oras pong ito, sa atin pong programang Time Alone with God and 777 Prayer. Maraming salamat po. I would like to greet our brothers and sisters na nagpaabot ng kanila pong mapagbati sa mga sandali pong ito. Kay Sister Dominga Vicente, magandang gabi po sa inyo dyan sa Nueva Vizcaya. Mga kaibigan, mga kapatiran natin dyan sa Nueva Vizcaya, maraming salamat po. God bless po sa inyo lahat. And also kay Sister Mercy de la Cruz, Sister Perla Resurrection Pascual Agcavili, good evening po sa inyo. Ganon din kay Ruben Esmeralda Bautista. Maraming salamat po for the support sa atin pong online ministry, sa ating media ministry. Pagpalain po kayo at ng inyong pamilya. At ganon din kay Sister Erlina Doroni Austria, Sister Rebecca Narbarte, Sister Maria Luisa Acosta. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat who is watching from Santiago, Quirino, Isabela. Mga kapatiran natin dyan sa Santiago, Quirino, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. And also to Sister Mila Luz Bartolome, good evening. And also to Brother Timothy Kyle Carlos, June Merly Coloma Viernes, magandang gabi po sa inyo. And also kay Sister Janet Borromeo, amen. May we achieve that Christian love through God's grace. Thank you, Brother DJ. Ayan, yung mensahe ni Sister Janet. Na sana, mga kapatid, ay sa bawat araw, meron tayong yung gradual change, to achieve and to reach that perfection of character na gusto ng ating Panginoon. And also, kay Sister Ginny Macarego is watching, good evening po sa inyo. And kay sa aking pamangkin, ayan, si James Aguedan, sana'y maging maayos ang iyong kalusugan. I pray for your health. And also, kay Sister or Brother Salinas JD, si Sir JD na nanonood ngayon. Magandang gabi po sa inyo, Sir. Sa mga kaibigan natin, kapatiran dyan sa Mapandan, Pangasinan. And also kay Brother Jaime Catalon, magandang gabi po sa inyo. Ayan. And also kay Sister Elizabeth Vallejos. Ayan. God bless po sa inyo, ma'am. And muli, sa bukas po, mga kapatid, panibagong week na naman ang ating haharapin. Mga bagong challenges na naman, mga kapatid. But it is a wonderful thing, before we face the day we will be hearing the message of the Lord. Yan po yung comfort natin, yan po yung morning manna natin. So sama-sama po tayo bukas ng umaga, mga kapatid, as we continue on listening and hearing the word of God. And sa gabi, mga kapatid, all throughout this week, sa gabi-gabi ay meron ulit po tayong bagong panauhin, guest speaker, mga kapatid, na gagamitin ng Panginoon to share His message, para sa atin pong spiritual na paglakad bilang Kristiyano, mga kapatid. In the person of Pastor Jackson Marinas. Isa po siya sa mga nasa may PPH po siya nagtatrabaho, mga kapatid. So the whole week, gabi-gabi, makakasama po natin si Pastor Jackson Marinas. Maraming salamat, mga kapatid, sa inyo pong pagsama sa atin sa oras pong ito. Pagpalain po tayong lahat ng ating pong may kapal.